From now on, we will start the presentation of the Customer Attraction Space Laboratory. We will talk about the future of FutakoTamagawa Rise. The total development area of FutakoTamagawa Rise is about 11.2 hectares, which is one of the largest scales in Tokyo for private redevelopment. In the scenery that changes from the city to nature, commercial facilities, offices, houses, etc. are laid out in the city starting from the station and leading to a vast park of about 6.3 hectares. In addition, the architect set the concept as travel, and planned to enjoy the scenery that changes from the bustle in front of the station to the residential area where the lush greenery is abundant. Passing through the gorgeous commercial facilities. The development theme is coexistence with nature, and FutakoTamagawa maintains one of the leading natural environments in Tokyo. And in order to protect them, we are trying to create a city that is in harmony with the rich natural environment. These functions are concentrated in FutakoTamagawa, and it is a very attractive place as a whole area. I'm going to start with an introduction to FutakoTamagawa, Setagaya Ward. FutakoTamagawa is located in Setagaya Ward, Tokyo. It is the most populous city in Tokyo, with 940,000 residents. It has a rich natural environment and is called a green town. The city is also known for its well-developed public transportation system. Setagaya Ward changed the city plan in 1989. The area of the park was moved to the east side far from the station. FutakoTamagawa Park of about 6.3 hectares is maintained adjacent to the block and is managed by the block. What are the characteristics of FutakoTamagawa? First, you can reach the Shibuya station in about 15 minutes. Second, good environment for shopping. There are shopping malls called Takashimaya and FutakoTamagawa Rise, so you can find everything from food and daily necessaries to brand name products. The quality of the inhabitants is high and the security is good. The quality of the inhabitants is high because people with money live in them. There are fewer crimes than the population. You can get in touch with nature moderately. Famous for its rich nature in Setagaya Ward, the rivers and greenery are abundant and you can enjoy the 4 seasons of Japan. There are plenty of restaurants in Rise. You can enjoy both lunch and dinner. From low prices to high-end stores, it is attractive to many generations. And child rearing support is also substantial. In this town, various assistance is provided from consultation to support for child rearing. History of the Tama River around 1960. The Tama River quickly became dirty. The biggest of pollution are population growth and increased household drainage. Around this time, the Tama River was called the River of Death. Around 1970, the Water Pollution Control Law was enacted. It regulates the emission of harmful substances. Today, the Tama River has been transformed into a river with good water quality where fish live, and has become a playground for children. However, it took about 40 years to reproduce the beautiful flow. FutakoTamagawa Garden opened in 1954. It later developed into a busy resort, but closed in 1985 due to poor management. FutakoTamagawa Times Park has made effective use of the site of FutakoTamagawa Garden for redevelopment and opened an amusement park for a limited time. Redevelopment work started in 2007 and developed into FutakoTamagawa Rise. FutakoTamagawa, which is also an oasis in the city, has large urban commercial facilities, a lush park near the Tama River and a locally lawn. FutakoTamagawa Rise, a large commercial facility, opened in 2011 and created a space where you can experience nature even if you are in a city, with the goal of creating a city in harmony with nature. We'll talk about the development of FutakoTamagawa. The concept is to create a city in harmony with the rich natural environment of water, green and light. Examples include the Tama River, FutakoTamagawa Park and Galilea. Also, the FutakoTamagawa development is one of the largest redevelopments in Tokyo. We must protect the natural environment of FutakoTamagawa. Next, let me explain about FutakoTamagawa Rise. The development theme is coexistence with nature. The total development area of FutakoTamagawa Rise is about 11.2 hectares, which is one of the largest scales in Tokyo for private redevelopment. FutakoTamagawa Park is about 6.3 hectares. These make it possible for cities and nature to coexist. Finally, I will talk about the residential and pedestrian corridors in FutakoTamagawa. Galilea, which serves as a hub connecting the FutakoTamagawa Rise blocks, serves as the gateway to the city for users of FutakoTamagawa. The space covered with an open large roof where the light from the sky shines as it is functions not only as a comfortable pedestrian walkway connecting the station and the traffic plaza, but also as a plaza where stores and events are actively held. This residential area has about 1,000 houses based on the concept of a skyscraper floating in the forest. Here are parks and rivers near this residential area, making it truly a residential area that coexists with nature. We are making various environmentally friendly efforts with the aim of creating a new city where people can live in harmony with nature for generations. Creating an environment where you can experience familiar nature. Build the foundation of a biological network that actively reflects the rich natural and geographical features of the surrounding area. Achieve biodiversity. World's first gold certification in the LEED for Urban Development category. Gold certification in the LEED Urban Development category. Skyscrapers and green coexist. An open and cozy public space. Goal 11 of the SDGs, creating a city where people can continue to live, aims to enable all residents, including the elderly and people with disabilities, to continue to live in a safe and comfortable city. Specifically, we aim to create a safe, clean, and convenient city, develop infrastructure services that make it easy for the elderly, children, and people with disabilities to live in, and create a city that protects people and the economy even in the event of a natural disaster. Before the corona epidemic, living in the suburbs and working in the city center was the main style, but in the future work, housing and play may be closer. It is a lifestyle where you can spend the day in that place. FutakoTamagawa has a base where work, housing, and play are integrated. FutakoTamagawa Rise, where shopping centers and office buildings are gathered, is a typical example, and embodies the comfortable city of FutakoTamagawa. Finally, I will introduce the influence of Corona in Japan and how to deal with it. First, I would like to introduce the response in Japan. I didn't lock down in Japan. Instead, it issued a state of emergency. Restrictions on behavior have become the main regulation in the state of emergency. In addition, the provision of alcohol is prohibited to prevent infection on the go. Distribute masks to each and every citizen. Payment of 100,000 yen per person. A go-to campaign that allows you to go to sightseeing spots cheaply. There was correspondence such as. Next is about 3 Cs. 3 Cs as a closed and dense thing. Closed room with poor ventilation. A crowded place where many people gather. A close scene where you have a close conversation and vocalization. It is an initiative aimed at suppressing the occurrence of clusters by avoiding these 3. Prevent infection by taking a social distance. Finally, the influence on the corona. Work and school are now online. By going online, you can work and take classes at home without having to move, so you can prevent infection. All events have been restricted. The event wasn't held, and even if it was held, only 50% of the audience was able to enter. A non-audience match was held at the sporting event. Masks and social distances are indispensable in everyday life, and we are still living with restrictions. This is the response of Corona's influence Japan. Thank you for your attention.